Hello, everybody, and welcome. Today we've got another Metroid Prime Randomizer tournament race. I'm joined here by Baja Blood. How are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Good, good. So today we've got DiggleWrath versus Alexis Nightfire. Um, Race time is off, so we should see the stream catch up here momentarily.
And away we go. So yeah, this will be the final match of the night. We've had quite a long day here of Metroid Prime action. This is the fifth race today. Hopefully this will be a good one as well. So thing I've been seeing in some of these recent... Ooh, that's an early wave beam under the ship there in landing sight. Nice find early on. But the question I've got is,
Yeah,
it seems
definitely
like
one
we've
of
been
those.
finding either 6 really free artifacts or 6 really bad artifacts. And I'm wondering what kind of seed we're going to see this time.
Yeah. Yeah, Wave Beam's nice to see early. It's one of those key progression items that opens up quite a bit of the game.
Looks like both players with the starting missile
Having
launcher will
a
head
little
straight
bit
to
of
get
trouble with the
hints.
dash.
And gets it second time though. As both runners get a scenic view of this giant rock hovering above the impact site. We'll see if we get
It
a...
is a beautiful rock.
potentially, we may stop seeing quite as much of it later in the tournament if we're able to get a preset that cuts out some of these cutscenes. But for now, it's pretty much required to view that cutscene every race.
Just more missiles in Artifact Temple. Always good to get a few early game.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely noticed that it can be easy to run out of misses this game, so even if they're not the progression you're always looking for, it can be always nice to pick up a decent number of them throughout the game. See if either of our runners immediately checks the hints or if they carry on for a little bit before looking at them. Alright, looks like we got the cursed hints today.
Yeah, they were a little quick, but did catch Hydro Access Tunnel, Fungal Hull B, I believe.
Yep, I think I saw an Elite Research, a Shorelines, what were the other ones? Antechamber. It's kind of all over the place, which is actually a bit unusual. Even when they're all late, often there are just like 4 or 5 of them in lower mines. But this seems
Yeah, a
like
little
it's
bit
going to
more
have a
spread
runners
out.
running around everywhere.
Diggle checking Transport Tunnel B now.
Yep, I like this play. Often
Getting
is
Space
something
Jump
here.
Boots. Alexis following shortly behind will also be getting her Space Jump Boots.
See if either of them try to get this root cave item while they're here. Now that they have space jump, won't be in logic yet, but with a scan dash can get over there. Unfortunately misses the platform, but should be a pretty quick reset. And we'll see if Alexis goes for it as well. Looks like a yes. Yeah, both runners pretty much in sync here now after Alexis gets that first try. Very nice.
Yeah, well done. This is, however, out of logic, but you know, if you have the ability to do the dash, it's, you know, not a bad decision.
Ooh, boost ball. That is a decent
And
reward.
rewarded with boost ball.
Ooh, Diggle choosing to do the out of bounds here for Arbor Chamber. This is a little dangerous without Morph Ball bombs. You can get yourself stuck fairly easily. Hopefully this works out. Looks good so far. And gets it. Wow, very nice. Fortunately, just for a missile, but also gets the peace of mind of knowing you don't need to come back here, because this can be a little out of the way later game.
Yeah. Alexis now heading into Chozo, slightly ahead of Diggle. We'll get to see what Main Plaza has in store for us today.
Yep, still need to find that Morph Ball so we can come back and pick up that Wave Beam. Wonder where that will be.
Missile on Grapple Edge and Half Pipe, and I believe I saw Grapple on Vault Edge.
Yep, TGC makes a good point in chat. Even if the boost ball is not required for anything logically shortly, given that there's a few times blocking it, it definitely does increase movement speed getting around. Ooh, it's an Avaria suit.
Yeah, Varia Suit and Ruined Gallery Missile Wall.
Must be a fun Morph Ball and Magmor seed. Reminds me of the Bash Rando.
Yeah, it could be.
Nice.
And
Early
Super
Superman.
Hide Mecha.
And Gravity Suit. That's an
And
interesting
Gravity
logic.
Suit. Now, in Gravity Suit, you know, not really hard required for anything. It is logically required, and it is a nice quality of life item. Makes underwater movement much easier, especially through the Crash Frigate.
Yeah, I believe we've already had a bombs in cargo freight already this tournament, so could be something early in frigate if we end up finding thermal to go along with the wave beam. That'll be in logic once we get morph. Oh, and ice beam, of course.
Yep.
Oh, scarabs doing scarab things.
Ooh, and
Those really hurt when you are not
Alexis
morphed.
taking a dab.
Those are X-ray visors.
Diggle picking up X-Ray in the tree.
So with that grapple and X-ray, that does put our boost ball in logic. Ooh, I think I'll also
Does
taking a quick
indeed.
45 damage from those scarabs. They really do not mess around.
Didn't catch what it was, but whatever
just
it
a
was,
missile.
Diggle didn't want on the vanilla morph ball.
Yeah, it's starting to seem like morph has to be in Magmor.
Yeah, it looks like that's where Diggle's going.
Lava Lake's probably the worst option here. That's an annoying one to check without explosives to get through, because you're only going to... Oh, wait, can we even get there without morph? No, we can't.
No. Bombs could be there.
They're heading back for our mid-Magmor elevator to Twin Fires. And once this, we'll have to backtrack for that Varia suit. Doesn't go to re-pick up the boost ball, but hopefully we'll pick up the grapple and X-ray to make that trivial to reacquire.
Yeah.
Tree was
One
checked. I
benefit
believe it
the
was
runners
X-ray.
Diggle, gotta be a little careful there, but one of the benefit the runners have is with 2 suits, they now have 20% damage reduction. Very nice to have, you know, if you have to dip into lower mag more, especially on, you know, 0E tanks, like the runners are currently.
Yeah, we'll see how Diggle handles the shooting gallery here in the monitor station. Always a little bit of a scary room when you don't have a ton of health. Yeah, definitely playing it safe, which I agree with. Use some standable terrain to get up to the catwalk. Skip's kind of going around the edge of the room. Nice couple health drops there too.
Diggle gets the dash over to Warrior Shrine. Just a missile, it looks like.
Ooh, just a little dip in the lava. Still hanging in there though.
Wisely choosing to take out the puffers. If you collide with the puffer, there is a substantial knockback, and if you get knocked into the lava, that, you know, could mean GG's with this little amount of health.
And there is our Morphball. Alexis has the twin suits and the supers. Actually, don't recall where Grapple was. Was Grapple just on the half pipe?
Grapple was Vault Ledge.
Ah, right. Yeah, unfortunately, no E-tanks available to our runners this early. Diggle unfortunately got to look at one in Shore Tunnel, but without having a power bomb yet, can't pick it up.
Yeah, and of course the prime drop system is not wanting to cooperate.
Well, those
And
buffers
without
were
bombs,
pretty
that
friendly
means
there.
that Diggle has to route all the way back to the Fiery Shores elevator.
Yeah, a bit of a rude start here, honestly. Even the new Warp Start feature isn't terribly useful here because we can't get to the early Magmore save station without some sort of explosives. Oh, nice bunny hopping through Fiery Shores here. Always have to be careful here, though. Yeah, for some reason this red drop off these Magmores takes a long time to show up. Oh my gosh.
Diggle made it through, but I personally probably would have taken the track at that point.
Yeah, it's the health management definitely interesting puzzle between speed and safety in the early game if you don't have any E-tanks.
Yeah.
Alexis seems to be looking for what is possible to do. I'll find that morph ball somewhere.
Gonna grab grapple over here on the vault ledge. And looks like she will take a peek in vault to see what it is. Can't acquire it yet. Do need bombs.
I think we'll pick up her wave
Diggle,
beam here.
meanwhile, is back in landing site.
I'm also going to look over here at the frickin' crash site item. This is another pretty common site of progression. And with grab and space jump, pretty easy to pick this up. And just ice spreader.
Yeah, not, needed, but it does make Exo a little easier if you have the missiles. Diggle choosing to save here. I think that's a wise choice.
Agreed, yeah. Alright, looks like Alexis is making the play into Magmore here, which is a good call. Let's see if she also opts to re-pick up that boost ball. Well, that makes sense too. Yeah, we are still a couple items away from bombs and biohazard, but that is a theoretical possibility.
Yeah. Diggle heading back into Chozo has, a couple different options. Can head towards Ruined Shrine for the upper check, or can head towards Watery Hall. And looks like she's going to Ruined Shrine first.
Yep, this makes sense to me. A couple quick checks here. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't have bombs or power bombs to open the low. Oh, speak of.
Speaking of bombs, Diggle now heading for Tower of Light and Tower Chamber.
Well, Diggle opting to climb
Diggle
Tower of Light.
is climbing Tower of Light, but in beginner logic, Tower of Light cannot have, progression required to beat the seed, because currently in Randomania, missile expansions are not accounted for in logic.
Yep, and the scan dash method Diggle just used there is above beginner logic, so it's not going to be expected of our runners.
Yeah, it starts at intermediate and above, which will, unless a pair of runners choose to RA for harder trick settings, we shouldn't see it in the tournament. Alexis making her way through Magmore now, soon to come across the Morph Ball and Triclops pit.
Yeah, Diggle going to spend some time to pick up this E-Tank. Can't really blame her here.
Yeah, early game, any E-Tank, can't hurt.
Also remembering the Ruin Gallery check. This one often causes players trouble. Once you pass through here, you don't really think about needing to come back. Plus this item's a little bit out of the way. But just use it this time. Alexis finds her Morph Ball. Yeah, that tunnel in Triclops pit is can be such a troll.
I mean, just the camera in general can be interesting at times. Diggle looking to check vault. I wonder if she'll go back and check Lava Lake, or if she'll just move on in Chozo.
Yeah, that's a bit interesting. Lava Lake will end up pretty isolated if you move on here, but unfortunate alerts still enabled, but looks like she might be addressing that.
Yeah, I think she might be fixing that now.
Yep, definitely a lot more density of checks this way, but does leave Lava Lake a bit isolated. So it'll be interesting to see if she ever makes her way back to that, or if it ends up just being a little bit of a gamble that nothing was there.
Yeah.
Heading towards... Oh, yeah, well, that's right. We do have... We can't actually do Magma Pool, but we can go past it.
Well, she has X-rays, so she can peek the item. Looks like just a missile, so we'll not have to come back for it.
First PB is a little tempting, but you need Spider Ball to obtain that item.
I mean, you could do a wall crawl to get to training chamber and then double bomb jump out. But I mean, it's probably not worth the time.
Yep. It has to be
And
an
if
accessible
you
main
fail the
launcher
wall crawl,
somewhere.
that's a reset.
Yeah. Alexis is making her way out of Magmore with the Morph Ball in tow. And we'll head back to Chozo as well. Probably end up cleaning up some of the checks that Diggle has just worked on.
Yep, Diggle grabbing a PB expansion and Watery Hall access. Not the logical PBs, but you know, nice to have early on. You know, definitely won't stop the runners from using it.
Yep, it can definitely be nice to find the mains that are just, especially in lower mines where you need a decent chunk of power bombs to make your way through that whole area, and drops can be a little bit unreliable outside of a couple guaranteed ones.
Alexis now picking up her wave beam.
See if Alexis opts to head to frigate crash site here. Looks like yes. We'll be rewarded with that ice spreader.
Other than the PB expansion, not too much of use so far during near the Watery Hall area. Diggle now heading towards Zoid. And with bombs can get both checks at Zoid and then lower furnace as well.
Yeah, I think Zoid and lower furnace are the only things we have in logic right now. Can't have vanilla ice, because we know that's an artifact. So
Yeah, well, we do have Lava Lake, and then with bombs can push into Fundrana.
Yep, and even have the potential with the gravity suit of being expected to head all the way back to far end of Magmore, go fight our friend the Rockman. Ooh, there's a plasma beam.
And plasma behind Zoid. That's a nice find. That's one of those items that could be almost anywhere. You know, not quite in as many locations as Phazon Suit, but it's close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would definitely make me lean towards heading to Shorelines after this. Looks like Alexis is pretty much taking the same route as Diggle, getting these rune shrine items, check tower chamber, and find more tall bombs. Alright, can we get flamethrower here for the 1-2 fire themed item punch? Unfortunate. I think we'll have to search elsewhere for validation. Does opt to continue on to Lower Furnace. This energy core puzzle takes an annoying amount of time, especially with cutscenes, but we'll have another in-logic check behind it. We can also choose to take a look at the Upper Furnace item as well, and if so inclined, also potentially try to go for it, although it's a little bit difficult without Spider Ball to pick that up.
Yep, that bomb jump can be pretty tricky.
Alexis finding an E-Tank here in Ruined Shrine, probably happy to see that.
What do we have in Lower Furnace?
Yeah, flamethrower, alright.
Validation. Diggle choosing to press onwards, check what her furnace is, and actually with Wave Beam, she can also grab the crossway item.
That's true. Is this standable method in beginner? I can't remember. I think it actually might be.
Off the top of my head, no, I don't know. It is a nothing item anyways, so don't have to worry about it. And Diggle actually choosing to press on further into Hall of the Elders. Maybe thinking about doing the bomb jump.
You know, I'm surprised by this. I'm not sure what we can find over here that would be useful. Unless, I don't know if it's possible to pickpocket the antechamber item with a power bomb. Maybe trying to get that artifact.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, that's a play that seems pretty reasonable, honestly. Get you an artifact, means you might be able to gamble on not coming back here at all. There's a save station that's accessible right nearby to warp the start.
Yeah. And then actually with Wave, they don't need to do this bomb jump. But it does help if she has to come back later. And getting it very nicely done.
Yep, this saves that 3 ghost fight that deactivates the statue from spawn or from occurring. So saves time, because that could be a fairly long fight, having to take down 3 ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if Diggle goes for this antechamber item here. Yeah, looks like it. And gets it very nicely done there.
And nicely done.
Yeah, if the seed ends up being relatively friendly with more progression in Fendrana, that actually might have been a very big play to save the backtrack into Farchozo.
Now, where does Diggle go now?
For me, I'd probably head straight to Fendrana Shorelines. A lot of stuff we can check there with the Plasma Beam. But could also opt to head all the way back to the quarantine monitor elevator if they're willing to fight Thardus. Also gets a check workstation along the way.
Plasma, I'd say Shorelines is probably the better play.
Alexis also heading for Zoid. We'll get that Plasma Beam. We'll see if she also carries on to Farchozo, or if she ends up saving or taking a save work herself before or after that furnace check. Yeah, we have been having some pretty late phase on finds in some of these recent races. There are a number of pretty bad locations, although honestly, early Plasma makes the phase on hunt a lot less painful. Just because without it, you're orphaning pretty much one annoying check in every part of the game.
Yeah, I think the big key item at this point is Ice Beam, and then almost all of the game opens up at that point.
Yep, and then you get the interesting decision of, do you go around kind of full clearing regions, or you just try to beeline your artifacts, since they're spread out all over the place, and hope you run the phase on suit on the way.
Just another item in Upper Fiery Shores. I wonder if Diggle will go towards Lava Lake and grab that item.
It's not looking like it, but yeah, I'm not sure. Oh no, it takes a fall before being able to power down.
Yeah, I don't know if she forgot or if this is intentional. Either way, I do think this is a valid decision going for density versus the one check.
Yeah, I agree, especially with the weighting of items to be placed in locations that you more recently got access to, and Lava Lake's actually been available for a decent chunk of times. It's more fall. So you have both the weighting and the density playing into Fendrana's benefit here. So it looks like the
Maybe
artifact was down
artifact
here,
is
so that's in the
shorelines.
lighthouse. Well, the lighthouse is not accessible without spider. Not sure if Diggle saw that or not, but I certainly didn't get a good look at what was up there.
Yeah, it's hard to tell on the restream. Alexis, meanwhile, has her plasma now, heading into furnace area. Curious to see if they go any farther than lower furnace. They may just go back and save warp.
He's also opting to climb to upper furnace. But yeah, not sure if this is just to take a peek at the item or if they're gonna play forwards through like Diggle did.
Just a nothing in Chapel of the Elders. And Alexis just checking upper furnace and now heading back.
Takes up a little bit of time, but we'll have to come back here eventually to pick up that antechamber artifact.
Which is not too bad. From landing site through frigate crash site, it's not terribly out of the way.
Yep, it may actually end up being potentially an advantage if something ends up being in Hall of Elders or Elder Chamber, or maybe even the Life Grove area. Diggle will have a little bit less incentive to ever head that way. Ooh, there's Spider Ball. Convenient timing. Also gets to check a check right here. But not a good check. So Alexis might be heading... Oh, no. Oh, Alexis headed all the way out. Okay, so Alexis might be making the play to Lava Lake here.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if this pays off.
Well, I'm starting to wonder if this is one of those seeds where Ice Beam has just been on plant all along.
And I mean, it very well could be.
Nothing here in Canyon. So now let's see if Diggle makes the play into Pirate Labs here. Always a bit annoying to come in here without ice because you can't make the play all the way through into Farfandrana this way. But sometimes ice is there, and that's pretty much what you have to do.
Yeah, could also choose to do Thardis and Quarantine Monitor.
Also true, yep, with our supers, go that way.
And Lava Lake, just a missile.
Diggle's gonna take a save here. Pretty useful to quit out of labs if nothing ends up being there. Alright, so we got 6 checks. Hopefully one of them is Ice Beam. I actually did not catch what was on Lava Lake. Doesn't appear that it was any sort of major progression.
It was just a missile. Yeah, just a missile expansion, so Diggle not missing out on that one.
Plasma Beam makes short work of that forced encounter with the pirates there. Not supposed to have that this early. Diggle's showing off some standable to quickly climb even Lab Hydrant. Finds an E-Tank for her Trembles in the Super Missile case. That was an interesting method of observatory dash. I have not seen that before. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, very, very nice observatory dash by Diggle. Diggle coming up on control tower here. Gonna use a little trick here to skip the pirate fight, as the trigger is, you know, just far enough from the door that you can squeeze through and jump over it.
So Alexis looks like he's continuing to take the same route as Diggle. This is actually a little bit unfortunate given the early death of the Scarabs. Probably needs some sort of route divergence at some point to be able to catch up. But the seed has kind of been somewhat linear in terms of like where it makes sense to go. So it makes sense that they're both kind of making the same decisions.
Yeah, and thermal.
Probably not enough on its own to be worth walking all the way out of labs for.
It does tell you that Thardus is in logic, though.
That is true.
And whether you choose to do bosses or not, you know, certain runners have their preferences. In, you know, the seeds we've been running, we do know that Logger has a high chance to have a progression item.
In vanilla,
Thardus,
Thardus
not
drops
so much.
In vanilla, Thardus drops Spider Ball. Yep, Edward does his job, breaking the glass, and is promptly vaporized. And there is Ice Beam in Research Core. Wow. So yeah, Diggle making the right play coming here into labs. And now the world is pretty wide open for the Phazon hunt.
It's about as far as you can see ice.
Welcome, Elias and the fellow raiders. Yeah, getting closer to go mode here in this tournament race. Just pretty much on the Phazon hunt after Diggle just found Ice Beam in Research Core. Lovely place for that item. I expect we'll see Farfender on a cleanup, followed by a play into mines via workstation.
Yep, could also detour a little bit and get plasma processing. I'd say almost certainly grab workstation on the way.
Yep, that definitely makes sense. Yeah, plasma processing's a bit out of the way, but it's one of those if you don't check it when you're kind of in the area, it's going to be even more painful if you do end up needing to backtrack it to it. Diggle without power bombs, but luckily
Diggle had a power bomb.
Yeah, luckily you can see through the door if it opens, and you can, with a charged plasma shot, deal the splash damage to the door and get it to open.
So, to answer a comment in chat, yes, typically it would be faster to fight Omega Pirate to get out. But with Randovania now, we have warp to start. So they can actually choose to warp to start from the Metroid Quarantine B save station.
Nice work from Diggle, picking up that artifact in upper gravity chamber.
At this point, Diggle has cleared all of Barfendrana. Going to be checking transport access, and then likely going into mines, I would say.
Yep. Probably will also head over at least to Quarantine Monitor. Whether or not she chooses to fight Thardus, probably less likely, but Quarantine Monitor itself is probably just a check. And there is Wavebuster. So we are set for yet another full tracker in this race. Ooh, here is some route divergence. Alexis is heading straight for Thardus.
Interesting play.
Yeah, these are the kind of gambles that can make some sense if you're feeling a little bit behind. Because, yeah, a lot of runners are going to skip this last location. So if this does have the progression you're looking for, this could definitely put you ahead, even from a disadvantageous position.
Yeah, and also, you know, as a runner, you can be hesitant to go into labs without ice, because if ice is not there, it is a bit of a time loss.
Yeah, absolutely. It can definitely make sense to clear these two checks out of the way, just for a little bit of peace of mind that it's even less likely that ice isn't in labs.
Just a missile and workstation, and looks like Diggle is indeed heading towards plasma processing.
Yep, don't mind this play at all. It is a slow check, but it is one of the... it's a decent candidate for having Phazon suit.
And this is probably the best time to grab it.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
at all.
Ooh, Diggle's skipping the third spinner. That's an interesting strat there. Using some Sanibel and a nice hard jump.
Yeah,
Saves a little bit of time.
Yeah. A little bit of a variation to the climb. and choosing not to go for the sloped R jump and taking the safer route.
Check artifacts here, which is good. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. So 1 upper mines, 1 lower mines, 1 in frigate. What a nice little variety pack of artifacts for us to pick up. So it's interesting from a routing perspective. It makes sense to make the upper mines play first, dip out of the quarry elevator to pick up hydro-access tunnel, and then head to the lower mines. Big needs to shoot through this little gap in the rocks and hopefully get a guaranteed power bomb drop here.
Plasma processing was just an tank.
Diggle gets the kill on the zoomer, and we'll be able to proceed into mines. Hopefully we'll find a PB drop here in PPC, because we'll need one to get any further than this. This is one of those points where you're a little bit reliant on the drop system.
Yeah, alternatively, she can just go back up the elevator for the guaranteed drop. Once again, might not be a bad decision. The prime drop system can be a little trolly, actually a lot trolly at times.
Yeah, there's so many like crates and enemies in this room that you think like, yeah, I'll definitely get a drop, but sometimes you won't.
Just missing the platform.
I'll use this as an opportunity to go take a peek at PCA here. It is not a phase-on suit. And there's a drop. Excellent.
And there's a power bomb drop.
Looks like another E-tank there in PPC. Diggle will wisely spare the power bomb, as it will be needed right here. So Alexis is skipping
And looks like
labs.
Diggle's going for lower mines first.
I wonder what this play is for Alexis, heading back into mid-mag more.
She was on the map. I think she's thinking about Upper Fiery Shores in the Warrior Shrine Tunnel.
Oh, she skipped. Oh no, heading. Is this Arbor Chamber?
Actually,
This might be Arbor Chamber.
could be. Can also now with Spider Ball check Upper Dynamo.
Yep, that's true.
And maybe even do Flagra. Would definitely be interesting if, you know, Phase On by chance happens to be on Flagra.
Diggle kills the drone, and we'll be doing
sway
the
the
maze
course
for
of
a
this
missile
race.
expansion. I have heard that the maze is not actually required to reduce the crash risk, but I'm going to let someone else be the guinea pig for that before I try it.
I
Yeah,
think
this is not a good
that's
maze,
fair.
and not a good reward. And she's out.
Alexis seeing that Arbor Chamber's just a missile.
Yeah, this is actually kind of where that the out of bounds earlier came back in handy. Is the feeling of missing this check and it potentially being Ice Beam, when the other option is Labs, which feels really bad unless you like kind of know Ice Beam's there. Kind of came back to be a pain. And looks like, yeah, maybe Alexis will be heading to the Dynamo check, maybe even Plant. I'm not certain if Alexis checked the Magma Pool training chamber area either, now that I think about it.
I want to say no, but I could be wrong.
So yeah, with all that being the case, yeah, there are a decent number of potential Ice Beam locations here in Chozo, so I guess that does make sense as something you'd want to do before gambling on Labs. Here we'll get in the MQA dash, very nice.
Yeah, that is a tricky dash.
Wait, is this item something?
It might be, because it looked like she was going directly for the spider ball track.
Being bullied a little bit by these Metroids. Only a couple left to clean up. Yeah, there must be something up here, and I can't really think of what else would be so important besides Phazon Suit itself. Still haven't gotten a good look at it. Ooh, gets the dash, very nice. And there it is.
And it is Phazon Suit.
That is
DiggleWrath is now in go mode. Just missing the dash to the door.
So this Lower Mines play ends up being a little bit awkward. Probably will actually end up fighting OP now, because the save warp here means you'll have to come all the way back to Upper Mines and Hat. Unless you want to save warp from MQB and go do forward frigate into Upper Mines, but that seems probably slower than just dealing with OP.
Yeah, what is the Upper Mines artifact? I can't recall.
I think it was Elite Research. Alexis is opting to do Plant. Unfortunately, we know now won't be anything here, but definitely a understandable play.
Yep.
Yep, so for those of you who haven't seen this before, if you come in through the back of Flagra's room, the fight trigger is actually at the front of the room, and so you can just go ahead and bomb all the slots which are active and still deal damage to the boss, even though the boss won't be active yet. And then once you've bombed all 4 slots, you can go to the front of the room, trigger the fight, and Flagra will instantly be dead. Unfortunately, Flagra is still programmed to waste as much of your time as possible, and all these damage cutscenes will play even though the fight isn't even active. Dig also getting the MQB dash.
And double checking artifacts once again.
Okay, was Elite Research. And so yeah, it's deciding to go straight through OP to get back up to Upper Mines. And from there, the quarry elevator will put you real close to Hydroaxis Tunnel. We're opting for some quick super missiles to finish the first phase of this fight. Still has plenty of ammo for either the super strat or the plasma strat. Trying to go for the one cycle here.
Yeah. And Diggle making use of a AI manipulation that is true for all elite pirates. Whereas if you trigger the fight while being kind of off to the side, the Phazon or the pirate actually will look at you before starting to attack, so you can kind of just strafe around the edge and use that to easily get the Phazon plates.
Yep, and Diggle's showing off the super missile strat, which is what I find the easiest way to get to one cycle. Just 2 quick missiles and then a super, then a super, then a super. And also using the AI manipulation for forcing elite pirate or OP to show up in certain pools so that you know where to look and shoot, so it doesn't have time to reform its armor. Which is to say, it'll always spawn in the farthest pool away from you and will not spawn in the same pool twice. So if you stand in one of the pools where it didn't show up last, you'll know that the other pool will be where it shows up, and it'll just cycle between the two. Alexis, in the meantime, takes down the Ghost and Sun Chamber, and will be rewarded with just a missile. Just a pair of missiles on Flogron Ghost this time, unfortunately. And heading up the front here, this may be a play to Upper Dynamo, or maybe even the training chamber area. While this gate is still up, you can use a infinite boost method to get through here. Just keep boosting against the wall, eventually you'll be going so fast that you will just clip through it. Alternatively, you can do a double bomb jump over it. A little more difficult than the other way because the collision is a bit sticky here. So you need to make sure you don't touch the gate until you're clear of it. Yeah, like that. While Diggle heading back up to Upper Mines, just needs to head to Elite Research, and then the elevator. Unfortunately, with Spider Ball, these rooms are trivial. Otherwise, there are some fun tricks to get up these.
Diggle also going to make use of the infinite boost clip here to go through this invisible wall, which is visible from the other side. And it looks like the artifact is in the upper item.
Yep, opens the way back out of here, which is going to be the quickest way back to the elevator. And we'll open up the item. And there's artifact number 5. Just needs to head to Hydro Access Tunnel. Well, Alexis getting the information that Upper Dynamo was not the answer. Where to now? I don't think she checked Crossway before, so maybe this is a play to Crossway. And
Diggle with a nice climb up ore processing, exploiting some standable terrain.
Yeah, definitely a nice bit of movement to know, because doing that room the intended way is quite slow.
It's very convenient routing for Diggle, because all she has to do is go out this elevator. That'll put her in Lower Great Tree Hall, and then grab the artifact from Hydro Access Tunnel. And can either choose to go all the way through Frigate back to landing site, or alternatively can save warp in the Reflecting Pool save station.
I
I
actually
think
wonder which save station's the
save
closest, because
warping would be
the
slightly faster.
Quarry one's pretty close too. Um,
And so is the front of Frigate. I
yeah,
think they're all viable.
yeah, I think so as well. We'll get a nice like 30 seconds of my favorite OST from this game, unless Diggle does have to go further through Frigate. Some nice boost strats there to save it being a triple bomb jump.
And looks like she's going towards the Reflecting Pool save station.
Definitely a reasonable option. Alexis, in the meantime, is pressing forward towards Antechamber. Might be looking to pick that artifact up the same way Diggle did. But did opt to use the wave gate, or the wave bomb slot, which will make this room a bit more annoying if she ever ends up coming back here. Diggle not taking the save, but is not punished with a crash. Good news. And we'll take the ship refill.
10750 ship save. It's a fairly jet seed.
Yeah, pretty good, especially considering some of our artifacts were both spread out and not in terribly accessible locations. Yeah, I would say this seed has been like pretty average, which is actually unusual because I feel like average for like this might be the average, but usually rando seeds or Randomizer seeds are extremely jet or extremely long. But this one has been pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it definitely has.
Still don't think I've actually seen a flyby skip yet in this tournament. Very annoying trick. Frame perfect, but also distance dependent. I honestly don't even know what the like visual cue of when the frame you're supposed to hit is. But it is possible to skip all this dive bombing stuff during a Ridley fight.
And Alexis also heading to Artifact Temple. She did take a death early on in the run, so having to grab the artifact hints again is a little unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm an old-fashioned person who actually handwrites down my hints once I obtain them for almost exactly this reason.
Yeah, I typically do the same.
Wow, Diggle made very quick work of Ridley there. Didn't even see the second phase of the fight, but judging from how quickly it ended, must have done either had some friendly AI or some very nice snipes on the dashes. Just heading back into Magmore. Hopefully, has sufficiently narrowed down the options that the lab play seems appealing. In fact, I can't think of many other places that Alexis hasn't checked where she might be able to find wave or ice. So I think she's pretty much pigeonholed into this play now.
Yep. Diggle with a nice slope jump and some standable terrain to get up the Phazon core. Going to be heading into the Exo fight here. And to explain this fight a little bit, we've got 4 sub-chambers. Exo has different phases that are each vulnerable to each of the 4 beams. In the first sub-chamber, you'll get power and wave. Second sub-chamber adds in ice. Third sub-chamber adds in plasma, and then the fourth sub-chamber is it's just a free-for-all. Exo can switch beams at any time. The fight can speed up, can dash at any time. It's a bit of RNG that can definitely cause a bit of a time loss.
Yeah, with the level of equipment we've got, we can over damage some of the phases, and that will result in like the next phase having less HP as long as it's not the final phase of the sub-chamber. So what we like to see, since wave is the least damaging beam, is that wave is followed by one of the phases that we can easily over damage, which with ice spreader or super missiles, those are probably the best. Ideal things we want to see are a wave followed by an ice, or sorry, ice followed by wave, or power followed by wave.
Yep. And with each of these sub-chambers, the beam vulnerabilities can be in any order.
Yep, and so as you can see, that wave phase only took a single shot to finish because Diggle got a nice super missile snipe as it was turning around, which basically contributed to the wave phase being done that much quicker. Hopefully we'll get a similar pattern this time.
Plasma, not a bad start.
One thing you can do, Exo does open its eyes a little bit as it's charging you, so you have a brief window to shoot a charge shot up at it if you stand in the way. That's another opportunity to get some extra damage in.
Diggle missing the turnaround shot, but not too big of a deal because of the ice phase.
I'm surprised Diggle hasn't used Ice Spreader in either of the ice phases so far. Although she did pick up Ice Spreader almost an hour ago.
Yeah. It can be a little easier to hit with Ice Spreader. But as far as I'm aware, charged ice shots are actually faster if you can land them.
I see.
Because with Ice Spreader, as THK points out, you do have that, a few seconds of delay with the freeze.
Ooh, nice to get there. And another one. So yeah, this is pretty much over here. We'll move on to the essence fight.
Alexis, meanwhile, in labs, she'll eventually come across her ice beam and research core.
Will I pick up the C-Tank before? Okay, good. Getting bullied a bit there by the turrets and pirates.
Now with the essence fight here, this is the phazon suit requirement. So you need the phazon suit to acquire the phazon beam to be able to use these pools. Now what Diggle is doing here is something called attack cancels. So essentially Essence has a set number of attacks before laying the next pool. So what this does is just kind of expedites that process to be able to lay the pool sooner.
Yeah, the visual cue you want to look for is pretty much once the chin comes back to kind of its neutral position, Exo will start its next attack, and then you can hit it with your next shot to cancel that without it having time to actually move anywhere.
Diggle unfortunately getting a pool skip there.
Yep, so Essence will refuse to lay pools if it is too close to that exoskeleton carcass in the corner, in the kind of left side of your screen there. When that happens, it'll transition to the next visor phase, do a bunch of attacks without having laid a pool. So you won't be able to deal any damage or cancel any of these attacks, and it'll be as long as possible until the next pool. So this is pretty unfortunate.
Now, Diggle going for what's called pool cancels now, and this is where you step out of in and out of the pool rapidly. And what this does is it extends the life of the phazon pool to the maximum amount, and this allows you to finish the essence fight in 3 phases. Can be done in as little as 2. 2 is very difficult though. Diggle unfortunately has just a sliver of health left, so just needs one more pool and should make quick work. And that is GG's. DiggleWrath has finished with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 50 seconds.
And Alexis has forfeited as well. So we'll see if we will get either or both of them in here for an interview.
Hello. Oh, I'm not here.
And we are joined by DiggleWrath.
Ah, there we go. Hello.
Welcome. GG's.
Yeah, that was Masid.
Yeah, it was relatively bad artifact spread and requirements, but the progression wasn't too much of a troll either. Oh well, with one major exception, I guess.
I mean, that ice beam though.
Yeah, that was not ideal. That ended up
I was
being-
considering like, okay, so do I warp out of here if I get thermal? I mean, it's useful against final bosses. Yeah, it's probably fast. Then I just get ice beam. I'm like, well, this seat is dumb.
Yeah, Alexis unfortunately had just entered Research Core at the time you were wrapping up final bosses.
Lord.
Just got the missing info. I think had pretty much checked every possible location before that.
Yeah, so she actually went and did Artis and Quarantine Monitor, and then chose to leave and go back to Chozo to do Flagra and Dynamo and some of the other checks that were left behind.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's hard to. It's tough though. The play into mines always feels so bad if you don't have ice already. And it's only
Yeah.
6 checks, so it's like not that likely to be there, but sometimes it is.
They are very dense. And now that Warp has started the thing, it's not as committal.
That's true. Yeah.
Still, it's still really bad having it in Research Core. Alright, I ended up with a full tracker. I found everything.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of those recently. Yeah, it was the beam combos were pretty free this seed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna see if Alexis wants to join us.
Yeah,
See what
I'm
the
writing
in-game
out a
time
message right
is.
now.
Yeah, that's about right. For my in-game time. Stream will catch up in a bit.
Looks like Alexis will join us. Just need to figure out a Discord invite here.
We can send it to her directly.
Yeah, I haven't quite figured out how to do that.
I'm just going to DM it to her.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, sometimes the SpeedGaming bot just doesn't. And so you have to do to make it work.
Yep.
All right, we're joined by Alexis. GG's.
GG.
If you are talking, we cannot hear you.
Discord might be... Okay. 1 sec.
Yep, she says 1 sec.
Hello? There we go.
Hello,
Hi.
welcome.
GG's. Oh my goodness.
Hey,
Oh man, that ice beam.
Yeah, that was so rude.
Oh man. Yeah, no, that was... It was fun. I'll say
Yeah.
that. I don't know if you heard, but I died to Scarabs.
Oh no.
Like 10 minutes in. And
yeah.
so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take every single gamble and see what happens. And it came back, but you know, I also forgot where my artifacts were. I
Yeah.
look forward to going back and watching that. How did you fare?
I feel like I mean, I've won, but I feel like I did pretty well otherwise. Like, just didn't make a lot of unnecessary detours. Yeah. And I found Ice Beam about as quickly as I could have, because I went directly into labs.
Hmm.
It was funny, I was trying to figure out, do I warp to start, do I reset out to, or do I keep thermal visor? Maybe I just go back to the super missile observatory and warp out there, and then I just get ice cream. Like, okay, I see.
Go all the way through. Yeah, that was the reason I didn't even want to go into labs. I was just like, no, I'd rather not. So I did everything else after getting spider. I was like, there's no spider checks in labs, and I was like, Randovania on my past like practice seeds has just been putting things really far away behind items that you just got. And so I was like, I kind of expected it to be somewhere off in the middle of nowhere or something. Yeah. But I don't know. I look forward to going back and watching that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it was a good race. We had a somewhat rare killing of Omega Pirate just because he was in the way rather than actually holding an artifact, which hasn't been happening quite as much with the warp starts, but definitely made sense with the route you were
I was trying to figure out if I was going to work. I forgot about the Elite Research artifact, so I was trying to figure out if I was going to warp to start. And so me opening my artifact was actually me buying time to figure out what I was actually going to do. And then I saw the Elite Research artifact. I'm like, okay, that's easy.
What's the where was Phazon suit at?
MQA.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that makes
Yes.
sense. Oh man, so yeah, I was really far behind since I didn't go for that labs. Why did you have to go through OP then? Oh,
It was just
fungal hall.
faster.
Yeah. I don't know. Trying to think.
Yeah, it was an interesting morph ball location too. Honestly, I haven't really seen the morph in Magmore in quite a while either.
So a fun fact is that was actually on my very first race ever. That was where Morph Ball was, and I didn't think it was logical to be past, like to be there, to come from the back like that, because I thought that you needed Morph Ball to go through rather than jump through the lava. And so when I realized, oh yeah, it's not anywhere, I was like, oh no, don't tell me it's there. And it was.
Yeah, I last location Morph Ball.
As well,
You just
yeah.
never expect it.
Yeah. Because I was just like, what's like left really? And then I always hate opening up my map that early and being like, I got this and this and this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Always feels bad. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It was still fun.
Yep.
I need to
Yeah,
learn this Randovania logic a bit more. It definitely feels different, for sure.
Yeah.
it
This is actually one of the very first seeds I've done for Randomania. One of the very few. Just haven't had time or to practice
Yeah.
or energy for that matter. But
Yeah, it definitely has a different feel to it.
oh yeah.
Than the Bash randomizer.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like Bashes kind of scatters items in a bit more, if that makes sense. Whereas like most of the Randovania seeds, like I said, I've like gotten an item and then been expected to run it all the way across the map to somewhere else to pick up something else.
Right.
And Bashes did that sometimes, but it didn't feel nearly as often. Maybe I'm just getting unlucky, but you know.
Yeah, and then stuff like supers and spider and grapple tend to show up much earlier in this
Yeah.
than they did in Bash's rando.
I've
It's nice for
seen
me because I enjoy having grapple most of the time, getting around places.
that's totally fair. I've seen a surprising amount of super missiles on Hive Totem in the past like week or so, and I don't know
Oh.
what it is.
Hmm.
Like I think I've seen 4 super missiles on Hive Totem in the seeds that I've played,
Oh wow.
which is unusually high.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess any other
But
thoughts
yeah,
about the seed?
GG's.
Yeah, GG's. Any
Yeah.
other thoughts? I don't know. It was. My game got thrown off by the death. That's
Gotta
for sure.
respect Scarabs.
The
I can't
Scarab-
tell you how many Hundo runs I've had that have indirectly game ended to Scarabs.
Oh my god.
Because they put me low and then I die.
To something else.
I die on the way to Zoid somewhere because I'm just at so low health from the Scarabs. Then I started killing the Scarabs before Morph Ball and that fixed it, but still.
Yeah, I think what the thing was with this seed in particular, the fact that I had 2 suits, I was like, oh, I can just tank the Scarabs. Like I had Varia and Gravity. I'm like, oh, I got that damage resistance, and it did not resist anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. 80% of a lot is still a lot.
yeah. 80% of infinity is still infinity.
Drink Scarab Respect juice is all I can say.
Scarab respect juice.
Yeah.
Where do I buy that?
Just respect Scarabs. That's all.
100 energy.
Shoot them if they're in the way.
Yep, I learned my. I'm telling you, was shooting every single one from that point on, just straight into the wall every time.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know. GG Diggle. That was
GG.
pretty fun. I know I said I was upset. I'm not upset at you. I'm
alright.
upset I didn't labs die.
Oh no, I understand that.
Whew.
Oh, my controller.
But
Alright,
let's see.
and start closing out here. Baja, did you have anything else
Oh no, don't think
as far
so.
as the seed? So to close out, I went ahead and put a couple of did a couple of commands in chat. Go ahead and give the runners a follow. DiggleWrath and Alexis Nightfire.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give my co-commentary partner a follow, Baja Blood. And big shout outs to Op82 and Chic for helping us with tracking. Go ahead and give them a follow as well.
Yeah, and thanks for co-comment Sass. Make sure give Sass a follow here too. And yeah, thank you both, Alexis and Diggle. That was a good race to watch. And
For
best of
sure.
luck to both of you in the rest of the tournament, unless
Thank
you're
you.
racing me.
Oh man, have the next ones come out yet, or no?
It'll be soon. We're one of the last people to race.
Gotcha.
There's 2 races tomorrow. Speaking of, the other command in there, there is a link to the bracket, the SpeedGaming schedule, and the Discord. If you are so inclined to join, you want to get into Rando. There's definitely a lot of people in the Discord that can help with any setup issues or questions you may have.
Yeah, if you're on the fence, I
An
highly
all
recommend
around
giving it a
good
go.
community.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think that'll do it for this race. This is the last race for today. There's 2 races tomorrow, and then we should have the round 2 bracket put up
Yep, I believe our
Sunday
races.
night or Monday morning, probably.
Yeah, races tomorrow, I believe,
So
start
we
at 2
will,
and 3 Eastern time. So be sure to keep an eye out for those. And also throw one more pitch for the also the weekly Prime Weekly is going to be a bit wild this week. Ginger Chris has put together a plan that we'll be running. Should be interesting.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And,
Till next time, I guess. Catch you later.
Yep. See you later. Good luck.
I think
Yeah,
that'll
thanks,
do it.
everybody.
We'll see you next mission.
See ya.